U.S. 3-0 lead over Costa Rica as we welcome you back to Mercy Park in Kansas City, Kansas. Glenn Davis alongside former U.S. gold medal winner and World Cup winner Julie Foudy. Let's go down to the third member of our team, Monica Gonzalez, who moments ago caught up with the U.S. manager, Jill Ellis.
Jill, 45 minutes left to go before Rio. What else would you like to see from your team?
Actually said, I thought it was a pretty good first half. I think consistency now is, challenging to keep the tempo, to keep the things we're doing and do it for 90 minutes. There were some good things out there. I'm going to make some changes just so we can get some other people some time, but I'd like to finish the game as strong as we've started it.
Thank you, Coach.
There's one member that's come on. Ali Krieger will join the U.S. squad. A number of changes for Jill Ellis. Whitney Engen coming in for Becky Sauerbrunn, and Alyssa Nair will come in goal here, earning her 7th cap as a few changes. Game on here in the second half in Kansas City. Costa Rica in the white, the United States in the dark blue. Your referee is Katya Koroleva from the United States as the direct route here played.
And O'Hara now switched over to that left side.
The box it comes, a glanced on header. Mallory Pugh's going to get there. She picks up a lot of balls in the attacking third. Here's Pugh now. We'll get a good cross in. U.S. coming out here on all cylinders. Punched away. The offside flag was up. It'll be a free kick, Costa Rica. U.S. fans are thoroughly enjoying this one here, and it's a rare moment, Julie, to see this team before they head off to the Olympics.
What a great city, too, for soccer, Kansas City. Always loved playing here, watching it here, calling games here.
Costa Rica now with some movement forward here. Melissa Herrera will knock it back. Yeah, absolutely right. You got Major League Soccer here, the NWSL here. Lots of visits from national teams here. Tremendous soccer city it is. Here's Lloyd now. Crystal Dunn opened the scoring up. Gets a great looking cross in towards the 6-yard box. Krieger got there. It might have been a shooting opportunity for her. Johnston.
And this is where this game could really open up. You got a Costa Rican team that's getting fatigued in this heat, and a U.S. team that wants to put a mark on this game going into the Olympics.
Julie Johnston now. Carly Lloyd knocks it inside. Here's Allie Long. O'Hara. Morgan Bryan, Crystal Dunn. Long. And shot will go wide. Last touch by Diaz. It'll be a corner for the U.S. Mallory Pugh goes over to take it now.
Horan asking for it in that little seam. And it's a good little seam. Doesn't get a lot on it. But she's had more success in this game in finding that little pocket in between Costa Rica's back line and midfield.
Pugh to take the corner. Strange, nobody really attacked the ball for the U.S. They were all standing on the 18. Here's Pugh again now. She gets dumped, advantage played. Dunn's cross will go right to the goalkeeper, Guinea Diaz. Early minutes of the second half, the United States picking up where they left off in the first, applying the pressure on Costa Rica in their final tune-up match before heading to Rio in the Olympics. Carly Lloyd, space on the right side now. Lloyd chops it back. Turns, squares across in, shooting opportunity off the post. As close as it gets for the United States.
Lindsay Horan, and a nice turn by Carly Lloyd. Just to tease that defender like she's going back, but instead finds the seam. Horan hits it well, does everything right, just unlucky not to catch the inside of that net.
Horan reminding us that she's a former striker and can score goals herself. Only 22 years of age. Today appears for her 20th time. Has 3 goals for the U.S. Not the easiest of roles to be switched into, Julie, because very, very different than playing as a striker.
As we mentioned earlier, at PSG in that striker position, but can also play out of the midfield. Seen it at Portland as well. And I think a lot of that curve for Horan, learning curve, isn't of course the game, because she was playing at a high level and she looks really good when she's coming over here. I mean, but France is such a small country compared to the United States. When you look at number of games, quality of games, I think it's asking a lot.
Lloyd trying to weave her way through, is begging for a foul, is going to get it. The U.S. will get another set piece here now. And of course, they're going to play it out here today. They want to get a lot out of this game.
And really, this is your chance to work on those little things with set pieces, offensively, defensively, scenarios that maybe you've been working on in practice.
So Ali Krieger, who is second half sub, played every minute in the World Cup final for the U.S. 91st appearance here today. Played at Penn State, currently with the Washington Spirit. Off the free kick, she'll play a short one. Engen is going to get here, and he's going to do the safe thing so the U.S. can get back behind the ball. Let's go down to the third member of our team, Monica Gonzalez, with more from Jill Ellis.
Glenn, Jill Ellis told me that they were going to start the second half in a high press, wanting to create another attacking opportunity. And she also said she wants to give Carly Lloyd 90 minutes if possible, so that she and Alex Morgan can have as much time together as possible. She was pleased with their chemistry in the first half. And well, Carly Lloyd, Alex Morgan are the only 2 players aside from Megan Rapinoe that have scored a goal for this United States team in the Olympics.
Nice nugget there from Monica, and some good information from the manager, Jill Ellis. Here's Mallory Pugh now.
And that's really why not having Megan Rapinoe in either of these games is a bit of a killer for her, confidence-wise too. I mean, to come back from a knee surgery like that.
Pugh, Boyd, top of the box. Everybody on alert for Costa Rica.
And when you talk to Megan Rapinoe, she says, "I'm at the end of my patience tank right now." And I don't blame her, and mostly because your knee feels good. That's what she said.
Dunn has been wreaking havoc, creates space for herself, gets the crossing, the glancing header just goes wide. Crystal Dunn continuing to provide the supply from out wide for the U.S.
Crystal Dunn recognizing on that right side, Signs not able to stay with her, the right defender. And Alex Morgan coming in, beating her defender to the ball, does everything right, just doesn't get it on the frame.
Speak about this front three, Dunn, Pugh, and Morgan as a trio, Julie.
I like it a lot because you have the pace, of course, with a Crystal Dunn on one side, Mallory Pugh on the other. Alex Morgan doing some slashing runs at her pace, so she's always stretching defenses. And it takes a little bit of heat off Morgan. You know Alex Morgan's going to be attracting a lot of attention in this World Cup. And maybe less so for a Mallory Pugh, who they don't know, or a Crystal Dunn, who they may not know as much. So, but when they start breaking down those flanks, I tell you what, defenders are going to have to adjust to that. And that's going to open up space for Morgan in the middle to make those little slashing seam runs. And the other option you get, as you can see, is Carly Lloyd popping high all the time. So it almost turns into a forefront with Lloyd popping in there on that front line.
Rodriguez trying to get turned. Over the top they go. This is one of the most threatening moments here. And Alyssa Nair comes off her line, takes a little bit of contact there, and That one play there made her officially more busy than Hope Solo in the first 45. But it's important for her to get minutes here too as well, according to Jill Ellis. This is some brave goalkeeping here.
And that's really her first touch of the game, coming off her line, colliding, and maybe should have been off just a little bit faster on that, but that's the challenge of coming in at halftime, trying to find the rhythm of the game.
Mayer plays for the Chicago Red Stars. Finished the 2015 season tied in the NWSL for the all-time lead in saves with 205. That's a lot of saves. She was called into action early here in the second half. Pugh. Shouldered off it. And playing out of the pressure there was Herrera. Good hold-up play there from Rodriguez to just help Costa Rica keep possession. Costa Rica still looking for their first shot on goal here. Of course, they participated in the 2015 World Cup. Tied Spain 1-1, tied South Korea 2-2, and then lost 1-0 to Brazil. But going into their final group game, they were still in it.
Yeah, and that's their first World Cup. They had an impressive performance. Lost just to Brazil in that last one, 1-0.
They beat Mexico in Olympic qualifying and then would get ousted by Canada in the semifinals. So they have made some progress, but these players compared to the U.S. players exist in a very differing world, Julie.
No, and that's the challenge really, because they're not training like the U.S. players are training. They're not funded like the U.S. team is funded. A lot of them work and have second jobs or first jobs, and they just train on the side.
They show the promise. Melissa Herrera now will hold it up. Lixie Rodriguez tries to get out of there, and she ran into a brick wall. That was Ali Krieger. Lloyd, Morgan has made a run. Lloyd is going to flare it out and make Morgan go get it. Here's Alex Morgan. Cuts it inside on her left shot, and a save, Diaz. And cleared by Costa Rica. That's how quick it can happen from Lloyd to Morgan. Simple as that. Krieger now. And this hit it. It'll be a goal kick to Costa Rica. Tomorrow we have 2 International Champions Cup matches. 5 Eastern. ESPN2 will have 3-time A-League champs Melbourne Victory taking on the current Serie A champs Juventus of Italy. Then at 12:30 on ESPN, it's Celtic against Premier League champions Leicester City. Both games available streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. So it's a great opportunity to take a look at your favorite team in preseason. Were you a Leicester fan last year?
Oh, how could you not be, Glenn?
All right, I'm just checking.
What a great story.
I know you pretty well. I would think you were pulling for the underdog there.
Of course.
It was a great story. Picked apart a little bit here. The loss of N'Golo Kante to Chelsea.
Yeah, but they got Mr. Vardy to stay with them.
Switch of play now as the United States continuing to work very hard here tonight in very hot, humid conditions here. Hotter conditions than they're going to face when they head down to Brazil.
And really haven't been tested at all by Costa Rica. U.S. has been organized, haven't let anyone get in behind them. Good pressure on the ball, winning balls back.
Long out there, and Crystal Dunn comes away with it. Nice touch from Horan. Pugh stumbled over it a bit. Yeah, she just gets thrown to the ground. It'll be a free kick, U.S. She's just so shifty, can change direction and stop and start so quickly, Julie.
And very sophisticated already in little tight spaces, which you like. isn't afraid of that pressure. You see young kids sometimes and they don't like that tight space, the pressure. And all these layers you add as an 18-year-old, they just add confidence. And you hope when you get to the big dance, when you're at the Olympics, it all comes together, because she has all the promise in the world.
It's direct. It's chested down. Lloyd trying to get there.
But again, you're seeing that combination play where Morgan and Lloyd are trying to find each other, what Monica was referencing after having spoken to Jill Ellis at halftime. That's why you see those two still in the game. Lloyd for minutes.
So everybody coming over to get some water here now.
Steps on her right there, clips her.
Picking up the third goal for the U.S. as Dinia Diaz, who plays for Moravia, getting work done here. My apologies, that's Noelia Bermudez who has snuck into this game here, the 21-year-old in goal. Don't forget to check out these stories and more on ESPNFC.com. Borussia Dortmund, well, they thrashed Manchester United in China 4-1. Big Sam Allardyce confirmed as a new manager for England, leaving Sunderland. And then Ronaldo Giro's final behavior defended by Portugal head coach Fernando Santos. What was that? Because he was jumping up and down on the
I
sideline?
don't know, throwing microphones into lakes. Saying, why is Iceland so excited? Country of the size of Anaheim. There's more people at Disney, I think, per day than in Iceland, don't you think? 330,000.
That's
such a great story. Another Leicester City story. There's a lot of good stories this year like that.
So Noelia Bermudez is back up and okay, the 21-year-old. She's played in the FIFA Under-20 World Cup back in 2014. She's getting 45 minutes here tonight against the United States. And she will be tested. Fabiola Villalobos. Johnston. Mallory Pugh, who's tucked inside here. Tried to work a give and go with Carly Lloyd. Didn't get the best of return balls, and Lloyd's going to commit the foul here. Free kick now for Las Ticas.
And here's one thing you can be certain of. This U.S. team at halftime said, look, see that 0 on the scoreboard for Costa Rica? It stays at 0. And that's important for this team. One of the goals going in. And here's a U.S. team that's only given up 4 goals this entire year. 3 of them in one game to Japan.
Kel Rodriguez will come off. Venegas will now come on. Tough night for one of the stars of Costa Rica, Raquel Rodriguez. And then Kristen Press will make her way on for the U.S. Press on, Morgan off.
And Press coming into that high position. We've seen Kristen Press play all over that midfield in the number 10 against South Africa, sitting in a little deeper behind Alex Morgan, out wide in midfield. But I think actually this is her most natural position. This is a pure finisher. You want her close to goal.
Stanford's all-time leading goal scorer was 71. She's had 3 international hat tricks and was a member of the NWSL First 11 last year. Was another one of those players that can play in a variety of places.
Sure can, and you want to see her turning and shooting on goal.
Well, here she is right now, Kristen Press now. With a bunch of bundled energy coming on off the bench here in the second half, tries to square it back to the 18. Pugh pressing. Let's just talk about Alex Morgan's night, Julie, because certainly, boy, she looks like the woman ready for the Olympics.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would say is she probably wishes she was a little bit sharper in front of goal. Had a couple good looks in that first half, a good look in that second half. Didn't finish it, but was active, was getting the ball, was getting in behind, most importantly. And here's a player, speaking of injuries and staying on that theme, who last year had to fight through all of that and has now come back, leads the team this year in goals with 11. And that was the last piece of the puzzle for her, was that finishing piece, and I think she's there. I bet she wanted one tonight going into the Olympics, but good to get some minutes alongside Carly Lloyd behind her as well.
Julie Johnson, switch of play. Krieger, Pugh helps it on. Here's Press now, back to Pugh. That's a great ball from Press. Moran sneaking into the attack from a bit of a deeper position, as well as Ali Long. It deflects off of Carly Lloyd right into the grateful arms of Bermudez.
And now with Press in, finding little seams. Pugh trying to whip it across that back line, didn't quite get it there. You could see what she was trying to do. Now with Press in, with that fourth substitution, that leaves two more for the United States. My guess is it's going to be Tobin, Heath, and Morgan Bryan, because Jill Ellis has said, I want to get them at least 15 to 20 just to give them some moments. Morgan Bryan, of course, with that other hamstring now bothering her, was in training in and out yesterday. Tobin Heath also with a hamstring muscular issue. Trained fully yesterday as well. It may be an abundance of caution, but a smart one, not to give him a full half or 90.
Carly Lloyd. Great ball, offside flag is going to go up on Press. It was a bit of a late flag, but she peeled her run in there a bit too early.
Costa Rica stepping. Kristen Press, good 5 yards offside.
Jill Ellis made it very clear to us, we want to score some goals here. We want to work on our build-up play. We want to get a shutout, as you mentioned, Julie. We want to get real value out of this game, and above all, stay healthy.
You want to walk away going, right on, we're ready. Let's go. Let's get this party started.
Julie Johnston, played at Santa Clara, is going to concede the throw to Costa Rica here. What a World Cup she had. Perfect foil to Becky Sauerbrunn at the back. For the moment, Whitney Engen. Lloyd quickly getting pressured here. Got tackled on the turn there. Herrera tried to switch the play. Dunn, Long, Moran. Sharp, clean passing here right now from the United States. And as I mentioned, that Mallory Pugh gives it away. Long battles, and Long's going to earn a free kick. And with the Morgan Bryan issues, Ali Long now. Well, there's a circle around her right now, right, Julie?
Yeah, because there's not much depth already in that holding defensive mid area, which is why you're seeing a Samantha Mewis today suited up when Rapinoe goes out, with Lauren Holiday retiring, Shannon Box retiring.
Those are defining central midfield players you're mentioning there. This one clipped over the top. Johnston's in there. Going to be a U.S. corner. Last touch came off a Costa Rican defender. Almost steered the shot on target. Getting ahead on it was Benavides. Whitney Engen is a target here. Mallory Pugh has been taking all the corners here.
There's Julie Johnson, the one they're going for the whole time.
Post Bermudez will pick that one out of the sky here in Kansas City. Plays for Levante in Spain and was voted the goalkeeper of the year in Spain. Pugh. Lloyd is pulled out here on the right. Little stop and go, whips it into the near post. Nobody got there. A little bit of a magical move there from Carly Lloyd. Over the top it comes. It's overhit. 71st minute, the U.S. with a 3-0 lead here.
Carly Lloyd showing a little confidence. She's been out for 3 months, mind you. Getting a lot of minutes today and has covered a lot of ground. Looks good.
U.S. step up and win it nicely from O'Hara here. Looks to give and go with press. U.S. trying to get some players in front of the ball. They do. Pugh is on here. How wide they'll get it to her. Great vision from Krieger. Mallory Pugh isolated one-on-one. You're going to probably bet she'll make something happen. Squares it back and it's speared away to be a corner for the U.S. again. Mallory Pugh isolated in one-on-one situations spells danger.
So much time and space. This is not going to happen in the Olympics, but you can see the U.S. just taking advantage of the fatigue from Costa Rica, knowing that they can face up and take on, recognizing that.
Pugh off the corner, drives it towards the penalty spot. Johnston was the target. She threw her head at it. Krieger. It's a good touch. Pugh again. Funneling the ball in. The offside flag is up. It'll be a free kick for Costa Rica.
What a good ball that is, driving that bad boy across. There's Carly Lloyd again, a few yards off, but what a ball that is.
Jill Ellis telling us that Mallory Pugh showed so well in training environment. She turned 18 in April. She has grown leaps and bounds in confidence. She has 7 assists, which leads the team here in 2016. Krieger, Pugh, she just gets chopped down. She's going to earn you fouls and free kicks when she's involved.
And here's where I'd love to see the United States, when they get an opportunity like this and on these set pieces, just mix it up a little bit. Take that fast restart. Try little things that could win games in transition. They've been really slow on their setup on set pieces tonight. Krieger was in right there. Could they have played her in?
It's his Ali Krieger to take it. 91st appearance tonight. Played every minute in the World Cup final. She'll play a short one. To Pugh. A lot of space towards the end line. She's teasing, tantalizing, working give and goes. There's a shot that's pulled wide. That hit coming from Kristen Press, excuse me.
And Pugh again finding little seams. Press just trying to get something on target. And we've seen her strike those from that range and finish them easily. So it's not beyond her range, that's for sure.
33 international goals for Press in her 70th appearance here tonight. pressing play continues here for the U.S. Expecting another water break here in the 75th minute. U.S. with a 3-0 lead, getting themselves ready for the Olympics. Lloyd will get a shot off. It's rifled right in, and it's held by Bermudez. She's been active. She's pushing here to get all she can out of this 90 minutes ahead of the Olympics. Be the Women's World Player of the Year. And here's the water break. So both teams will get to hydrate. I think we just got a glimpse of Morgan Bryan there, who's expected to come into the game. Again, temperature in the 90s, and it's feeling like it's over 100 down on the field here today. So that's got to be factored into everything here. 12 days away from when the United States will open up against New Zealand, then it's France, then it is Colombia in Manaus. Pretty interesting group, Julie. Very different teams.
Yeah, and three very different teams. New Zealand has some experience on that team, so I think the moment of the Olympics is not going to be too much. And they've got some pacey players that can get in behind. You know they're always going to be organized, and you know always with New Zealand they're going to fight. France, of course, is one of the world's best, ranked 3rd in the world. Got stuck with that Germany matchup in the quarterfinals of the Women's World Cup, or I think they would have been a finalist in that last World Cup. And then Colombia, a team the U.S. is very familiar with. Probably by the time they get to Colombia, they hope they've wrapped up that group G.
And Colombia has had some issues in and around their team. For more on that, let's go down to Monica Gonzalez.
Well, and just in case they haven't locked up their group, the United States can expect Colombia team to be a little bit weaker. They'll be missing 2 of their attacking stars. Number 10, Ureli Rincon, just had plates and screws put into her ankle to repair a fibula fracture that she suffered in the 78th minute, non-contact against boys. And Daniela Montoya, number 6, hasn't been invited back to camp since last September, when she spoke out on the radio about the federation who had failed to pay the team their bonus after qualifying for the quarterfinals in the World Cup. And I talked to Felipe Taborda, their coach, about Daniela Montoya just last week. And you know what he told me, Glenn? He said she needed to learn her lesson. Pretty disappointing.
Wow. So Monica bringing some real insight into Colombia. And Julie, it is a reminder that there are still soccer-playing nations around the world still trying to lift the professionalism level.
It just drives you nuts when you hear that. But you go back to that group, and you see that. And one of the keys for the United States is if they don't win that group, if they finish 2nd in Group G there, they most likely will face the winner of Group F. And in Group F is Germany. So you do not want to hit Germany in the quarterfinals. And if you finish 1st in that group, you hit a 3rd place team. So it's a much easier path. And the U.S. would go in knowing that.
And again, it's 3 games in 7 days. So you're going to use likely your entire roster. Morgan Bryan has made her way on. You heard the cheers. Tobin Heath has made her way on. Morgan Bryan's so essential in the World Cup win last summer, as well as Tobin Heath. And it's a bunch of caps between those 2 players. A lot of experience. Positive to see those 2 on. Both of them, Julie, having some problems with hamstrings.
Absolutely, and especially for Morgan Bryan, who it's been one thing after another, getting into that central position and just getting some minutes. So much of it is when you go into that Olympics is of course your form, but also your mindset. You know, where are you? How do you feel? And when you're fighting through some of these injuries with Morgan Bryan, who hasn't ever been injured before, it can take a toll mentally on you. It's frustrating.
Getting involved right away is Bryan. Played at the University of Virginia. Quick early ball, chance to make it 4. What a finish! Well, you talked about marksmanship. Press has just provided it. That's a nice cold finish right there in the 80th minute.
exactly where press is just so good. She finds those little seams, good first touch, faces up, and the U.S. in those positions, you bet on them, and especially on Kristen Press. She's not going to miss that one.
34th international goal, and it's placed perfectly in the corner. So testament to accuracy there from Press. Changes now being made by Costa Rica. Herrera will come off. Carla Villalobos will come on. So Gloriana Villalobos, a 16-year-old, has also made her way on.
And this 16-year-old is going to be fun to watch. Number 23. This is a player they said has such an upside in Costa Rica. Was an alternate on that World Cup roster last summer at 15 years old. Was a standout at their under-17 World Cup in Costa Rica. Little wide flank player.
Well, Jill Ellis has said this is a close group. It's a very differing group. The change has been good and healthy for the U.S. national team. It's been embraced by everybody. But every time we talk to her and interview her, she says this repeatedly: my responsibility is also to look beyond the Olympics. And I know the focus will be on Brazil, but boy, she's looking beyond every event.
I think that's a healthy mindset, and I think it's hard for coaches to think long-term like that. They often want to work in short-term spaces because that's where they live, and that's where their job lives or dies. And so to bring in Pugh, to give Dunn a chance immediately after the World Cup finished. She brought in Steph McCaffrey, we saw earlier. She's brought in various players from the NWSL. But you got to do that because you need that freshness.
And she's got plenty of versatility on this roster. Bryan will knock it back. Here's O'Hara now. Long couldn't control it. Dunn is now pushed on the right side of the field here to make way for Heath on the left. That's the other thing. There's so many people that are interchangeable, and we saw Jill Ellis taking Crystal Dunn and playing her in a variety of places situationally in case that's needed down in Brazil.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge element of this team, is the versatility, not just within a line, but between lines.
Lloyd to Press. She's one-on-one. Press will get a shot off. Just goes wide. Took a slight deflection off Fabiola Villalobos.
And again, this is Carly Lloyd in the dying minutes of this game after not having played 3 months, still linking players in, which is a great sign for the United States. And this is one I think Kristen Press usually puts away, and you can see her there, not happy about missing that one, but getting herself in good spaces in this second half. Knowing that Costa Rica is fatigued, there's a lot of seams in there. Knowing it and getting there is another thing, though.
Sanchez will come on for Costa Rica. Villalobos will go off. The Fabiola version. Fabiola Sanchez comes on. O'Hara to take the corner. Driven in towards the near post, picked off there by Bermudez. Stay tuned for 2 Major League Soccer matches coming up this weekend on ESPN. Tomorrow at 3:45 Eastern. How about this? The Portland Timbers, the LA Galaxy, that coming from the Pacific Northwest and Providence Park. And then on Sunday, Sporting Kansas City right here against the Seattle Sounders, 3 Eastern. And both of these matches you can catch streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. You get your fill of Major League Soccer this weekend on ESPN. Tobin Heath has had an outstanding year, Julie.
She sure has. And here's the other element you get with Morgan Bryan in there. She wants to get forward with Carly Lloyd. Horan holds a little bit more, so you get another attacking element in there.
Here is Bryan. The offside flag is up. Now, how do you think she will be used, though, in Brazil? Will she be given the license to push this high? Will she be more of a balancer and a possession player?
Yeah. I think they want her to do a little bit of both. She likes to get forward, but they also recognize they can't be sending her all the time with Carly.
Because that's how it worked in the World Cup, right?
Exactly.
And work it did.
And that's when they decided to push Carly higher, which was really the key element there. Kelly O'Hara's putting the game tonight, up and down that sideline. And Crystal Dunn now on that right side as well.
Krieger knocks it back. The second half sub Julie Johnston on the ball now has gone the distance here tonight as a center back.
I think the biggest thing for the U.S., they get through this game, they go into the locker room and say, right on, we're ready. Now we continue to fine-tune things, and we also manage the emotions of the Olympics and making sure they're rested. They're going to travel to Washington, D.C., leave on the 27th, so they'll train down there. But that's the big thing that Ellis is continually managing. When you come off a season with a league and a lot of heavy legs and travel, you got to manage that going in.
Good switcher play there from Bryan. Presses in the box. She's going to get there and does not make great contact. Hey, don't forget, coming up next on SportsCenter following our game with Stan Verrett and Neil Everett, we'll get a first look at USA men's Olympic basketball. Latest on the Steelers running back Levon Bell facing suspension. And then the first women pitcher and catcher to start together in a men's professional game in the Independent League. That will be on the docket as well, coming up next on SportsCenter. Bermudez off the goal kick. Heath has come inside. Look at that. Lloyd just dumps it right into space to O'Hara. 4 players in the box for the U.S. right now. And it'll be a free kick, Costa Rica. Jill Ellis tonight will become a 50-game winner with the United States to go into that category with a number of other very influential U.S. coaches like Anson Dorrance, Tony DeCicco, Pia Sundhage, and also one of only 3 U.S. coaches to have won the World Cup. She has experimented. She's created different partnerships. Been a lot of change over this last year since the Women's World Cup, Julie.
And she came in on a tight timeline.
Mayer came off her line there. She's getting 45 minutes here. Dunn.
I think the U.S. will be pleased with this. Under conditions that aren't optimal, you don't want your final send-off game in 100-degree heat and high humidity, but you deal with it, you press on, you learn from it.
Well, there's been a relentless effort too. I mean, nobody is, despite the scoreline of 3 or 4, taking the foot off the pedal. Everybody here looks in real preparation mode, as they should. Differing challenges for everybody. Tobin Heath coming off a hamstring injury. And there are individual needs in the context of the whole team here. '90th minute. Did not make mention of the 4 alternates. It's Heather O'Reilly, Ashlyn Harris, Emily Sonnet, and Samantha Mewis. I'll be going to Brazil.
The referee has added 4 minutes of stoppage time to end the game.
You saw it. 4 minutes of stoppage time in this final tune-up for the United States, leading 4-0 here in Kansas City. Fabiola Sanchez. Jill Ellis up off the bench shouting some instructions.
And the last thing I will say is even though you're not going to get 6 substitutions at an Olympics, it's very fitting, because that's going to be so important to their success, is that sub pattern. And players understanding that role of, look, you may not be starting, but gosh, coming in at 50, 60, 70 minutes, getting those last 20, 30 is going to be huge for us. And that's where you need players to be at.
Costa Rica still working on their first shot on goal here. They'll get it wide, and it'll go out for a goal kick. In fact, Jill Ellis told all of us that, look, it's just as important how we finish games as opposed to how we start them. Diana Sáenz coming off, who plays at the University of South Florida. And coming on is Angulo. Angulo plays for Saprissa.
You saw Crystal Dunn being attended to, pointing to her calf. Just hope everything's okay in these dying minutes. That's the last thing you want to see with players.
It's a debut for Carolina Angulo. Alyssa Nair off the goal kick here. NWSL fans will be familiar with her. And Julie Johnston does the wise thing there and just heads it back to her. Bryan knocks it back, so some valuable minutes for Morgan Bryan to get eased back into it. Tobin Heath, bright to see her back on the field. She'll get called for the foul.
U.S. down a player with Dunn coming off.
Two lines of 4 and a lone striker. Here's Morgan Bryan. U.S. just seeing this one out here in total command, dominating in every facet of this game here tonight. And the focus becomes the Olympics in Rio.
Boy, I bet they're ready for that. You get to this point where you're like, goodness, let's just get there.
That does it. Clean, concise. 4 goals for the U.S. here tonight over Costa Rica, and Jill Ellis will pick up her 50th win tonight. She's the 5th coach in U.S. history to do that. There'll be some checking of that young woman. Crystal Dunn, who produced the game's first goal only 15 minutes in. That's a look at it there. The United States 4-0 winners over Costa Rica. We'll be back to wrap things up here in Kansas City.